Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Unfortunate Love was how Lakshmi's second kabachot comes. So which means that Rishi and Lakshmi has been married for a year now. And Rishi asked Malishka not to fast for him and only Lakshmi can fast for him. So let's continue from there. Malishka and Rishi are in the car. Malishka asked Rishi if he wouldn't have come to drop her at home if Lakshmi had not asked him to. Rishi is silent. Malishka says she has many questions for which Rishi has no answers. She shouted, asking Rishi to stop the car. Rishi says accident would happen. Malishka keeps shouting and Rishi stops the car at the side of the road. Malishka gets down from the car and she started walking and Rishi gets worried. Rishi comes to Malishka and asks if she has gone mad. Malishka pushes Rishi and he falls on the road. The speedy car is about to hit Rishi and the driver scolds him and goes. Rishi shouted Malishka. Malishka sits in the taxi and she goes home without looking back at Rishi. Malishka gets home. Kiran asks, why are you crying? Malishka says Rishi and Grandma said that I cannot keep the kabachot fast for Rishi. She says I love Rishi since many years and everyone knows about it. She says this is happening due to Lakshmi. She says I had kept fast for Rishi last year too and I ate cake by mistake before the fast could be completed, but that was a mistake. Malishka cried and says to Kiran that there is no comparison between Lakshmi and me. She says she made Lakshmi as Rishi's wife to increase Rishi's lifespan and now she has been neglected by Rishi for the same Lakshmi. Kiran asks Malishka to calm down. Malishka says Grandma and Ayush called Lakshmi as the ideal daughter-in-law and says, what am I? Kiran says to Malishka that when Lakshmi's real values comes in front of everyone, then they will come to take you. She asks her to break Lakshmi's fast by any means. Malishka says, what if anything bad happens with Rishi? Kiran says nothing would happen to Rishi because you are keeping fast for him. Malishka says everyone will see that whom they call as ideal wife will break her fast and I will complete the fast and she get happy. Lakshmi waits for Rishi to come back and she thinks that why did Rishi not come till now? She thinks that Rishi cannot hurt anyone's heart and she tells herself that she will not get worried. She says just come home fast. Rishi comes to Malishka's house. Balwinder sees Rishi and he hides. Rishi calls Malishka and he asks Kiran if Malishka has returned home. But Kiran lied and says that Malishka has gone to your house, so where is she? Rishi says to Kiran that Malishka had come to my house and when I came to drop her here, she got down from the car and then she pushed me and sat in the taxi and she left. Kiran thinks that Malishka is mad and she did not tell me this. What if anything had happened to her? Rishi says so Malishka did not come home. He says no problem, I would go and bring her. Balwinder thinks that Malishka is mad about Rishi and Rishi is after Lakshmi and they have messed with his life. Rishi senses someone's presence and he looks at the pillar and Balwinder hides from Rishi. Malishka comes out of her room. Rishi sees Malishka and asks that why did you push me on the road and you did not think about yourself too and you left in anger. Rishi says to Malishka that you have no idea that I was scared for you. Malishka says sorry and she hugs him. She says I lost my senses in anger. Rishi says you pushed me on the road and you did not even care if I get hurt or not. Malishka says when the car was about to hit you, I shouted your name. Don't say I don't care about you when I care for you more than anyone else. Malishka says to Rishi that you had told Lakshmi that you cannot leave if anything has happened to her. She asks Rishi to say the same thing to her. Balwinder is hiding and he drops the flower vase by mistake. Rishi asks who is at home. Malishka says leave it. Just tell me I love you once. Rishi is about to see Balwinder, but Kiran comes there and asks Malishka to shut up and says you try to kill yourself for Rishi. Rishi says to Kiran that I thought that Malishka would hurt herself, but Kiran interrupts and asks him to go because she wants to talk to Malishka. She says I have to talk to her and I will bring her back to her senses. Rishi says okay and he leaves. Malishka and Kiran get angry with Balwinder after Rishi left and they beat him up for coming out. Balwinder says to Kiran and Malishka that I came out to get water. Malishka asks Balwinder to leave from her house. Balwinder asks Kiran to put 4 to 5 bottles of water in his room. He asks if they don't have borewell water and says he is going to his room. Malishka asks him to go out of her house right now. Balwinder calls Abe and says he is not here. He says he will stay here and says until I am safe, you would also be safe. Malishka says to Balwinder that once she kills him, then she will be safe and Balwinder will be dead. Balwinder gets angry and he goes. Malishka says today, Rishi was about to tell me I love you, but that stupid Balwinder spoiled everything. Kiran says we got saved today. Malishka says but I love you was left unsaid. Kiran asks Malishka not to hurt herself and says if something happens to you, then Lakshmi will benefit from it. She says, I don't know about Rishi, but I really love you. And Malishka asks her. Shalu says that Lakshmi and Rishi love each other a lot, that they had gone to get divorced, but it failed because of their love. She says Neelam wanted to get Rishi married to Malishka in the future, and now my sister is keeping fast for Rishi. She says she hopes that Rishi and Lakshmi should never get separated. Ayush calls Shalu and asks if she was sleeping. Shalu says yes. Ayush asks what is going on and says your voice is sounding fresh. Shalu asks Ayush to end the game. Ayush asks if Shalu have any work because she is not married and he asks did you marry? Shalu says yes, I got married to you and Ayush looks on. Rishi comes back home and looks at Lakshmi and his photo frame. He says Rishi is lucky to get such a caring wife. Lakshmi says Lakshmi is also lucky because Rishi is more understanding than her. Rishi records their conversation. Lakshmi says Rishi is clever too, and Rishi asks Lakshmi not to keep fast for him, and Lakshmi looks on. Ayush asks Shalu that why don't you keep the fast? Rishi tells Lakshmi that she always saves him from death and she increased his age. In that way, she is already fasting for him all her life. Ayush tells Shalu that her bond might be set and he asks her to keep the fast for that guy. Shalu says then he should keep the fast too. Ayush says I am thinking to keep the fast. He says if Shalu is not keeping the fast, then why should he keep it? Lakshmi tells Rishi that whatever she did for him is her duty, and this Kabachot fast is her respect and her pride of being a married woman, and she has no incompleteness in her life, and this fast means a lot to her, so she would happily keep the fast for Rishi. Ayush asks Shalu how to keep the fast. Shalu asks, whom do you want to keep the fast for? Rishi says to Lakshmi that I will set the alarm for 3:30 a.m. so that you can wake up and have the sargi, else you have to be hungry. Lakshmi says you have much knowledge about the fast, and Rishi says Grandma taught him everything. Ayush tells Shalu that he was checking her knowledge and says if you change your mood, then how will you keep the fast then? Shalu calls Ayush a fool and she ends the call. Ayush thinks that this much non-stop talk is enough to get sleep. Bani asks Shalu if she is keeping fast, but Shalu hit her with a pillow. Rishi says to Lakshmi that he will set the alarm. Lakshmi says you will lose your sleep once the alarm starts ringing. Rishi says I cannot take the risk. If you don't wake up and you don't have the sargi, then you will be hungry all day. Lakshmi asks, why are you worrying about me? Rishi says if you have the sargi, then you will fight less with me. Lakshmi says you give me wrong answers always, and it will be better if you don't reply at all. Rishi says to Lakshmi that you fight with me always, and he makes her watch the video in which Lakshmi is saying that he is more wiser than her. Lakshmi smiles. Rishi asks Lakshmi to sleep on the bed and says he will sleep on the couch. Lakshmi asks Rishi not to set the alarm. Rishi goes to the couch to sleep, and he thinks that if Lakshmi doesn't wake up at the right time, then she cannot have the sargi, and Grandma and his mother will get upset, and she will be hungry all day. Lakshmi thinks that Rishi cares for her so much, and she thanks God for bringing Rishi into her life. Rishi asks Lakshmi to sleep, and Lakshmi closes her eyes and she sleeps. Later, Rishi is still awake and he checks the time. He thinks that today is an important day, and he comes to Lakshmi to wake her up. He sits on the bed and he looks at Lakshmi. Lakshmi holds Rishi's hand as she turns in her sleep, and a song plays in the background. Lakshmi wakes up and looks at Rishi. A song plays in the background. Lakshmi gets up. Rishi says, sorry, I was sitting on the bed. Lakshmi asks, when did you wake up? Rishi says he did not sleep at all because if Lakshmi did not have the sargi, then his mom would have scolded her. Lakshmi looks at Rishi lovingly and she goes to get ready for the fast. Neelam tells Virendra that Lakshmi did not come to have the sargi. Grandma says Lakshmi is also worried for her husband. Rishi comes there and says good morning. Neelam says you woke up early and says Lakshmi should have kept the alarm. Rishi says Lakshmi did not set the alarm because she felt that my sleep would be disturbed with the alarm, and I was worried that what if Lakshmi did not wake up, so that is why I did not sleep all night and I woke Lakshmi up. Lakshmi comes there. Neelam gives Lakshmi sargi and blesses her. Karishma comes there and sits to have sargi. Virendra takes the sargi plate. Grandma asks Rishi to have sargi too, and Rishi makes Lakshmi have the sargi. Rano tells her friend that she is keeping fast for her husband, and she will break her fast by seeing her husband's picture. Her friend asks if she will come to her place to break her fast, but Rano says that she is going to the Obrey's house to break her fast, and she tells her friend that the Obrays have a variety of food items, and her friend goes away from there. Rano tries some necklace on and she asks Shalu about it. Shalu says it is good, and she tells Bani that Rano wants to go to the Obrey's house to have food after fasting. She thinks that it is a big day for Lakshmi. Malishka and Kiran comes to the Obrey's house and they greet Neelam. Kiran asks Neelam if Lakshmi will keep fast, and Neelam says that she hopes so, but Lakshmi had eaten sargi. Grandma asks Lakshmi if the arrangement is done. Lakshmi says yes. Grandma asks Lakshmi and Neelam to rest for some time. Lakshmi says I'm fine, and she asks Grandma and Neelam to rest for some time. Neelam says that she is habitual to keeping the fast, and she says that the place which her husband have in her heart gives her strength to complete the fast. Neelam asks Lakshmi to keep the fast with her heart, else she should not bother to keep it. Lakshmi says I have kept the fast with my heart and I will not let it break, and Malishka gets angry to hear that. Rishi asks Lakshmi that where is she going to. Lakshmi says she is going to the kitchen. Rishi asks Lakshmi to come to the room and take rest. He says he will watch her taking rest, but Lakshmi asks if Rishi wants her to rest for him. Rishi says to Lakshmi that if you get tired while fasting, then I will get sad. Then I have to keep fast for you. He says then you would have sympathy on me. Lakshmi says I cannot have anything as I am fasting. Rishi asks Lakshmi to give him jug. Lakshmi says she used to say don't smile. Rishi says don't smile, and he asks Lakshmi to give him the jug. Rishi says to Lakshmi that even you are fasting, so you should also rest. Rishi says I do go to the gym, so I can never get tired. He asks Lakshmi to go, else he will lift her up. Lakshmi says she will not go. Rishi says he will lift her. Lakshmi says no and she falls, but Rishi holds her and asks if she does this to get his attention. Lakshmi smiles and says yes, and Malishka and Ayush hears them. Ayush enjoys hearing Rishi and Lakshmi's romantic banter, and he smiles while Malishka gets angry. Ayush thinks to do something to teach Malishka a lesson, and he calls Shalu. Ayush calls Shalu and asks that how is she. Shalu asks, are you fine? We have talked in the night, so why calling again? Ayush says, I called to inform you that Rishi and Lakshmi love each other madly, and Malishka gets more angry to hear that. Okay guys, thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to check the comment section for the link to the next update, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.